just in my jewels. Because you know we got to keep shining on a Friday. True Skool TV. Unlearn the world. Ren the Vinyl Archaeologist. We in the building for another beautiful Friday out here in Oakland, California, Bay Area. Stand up.
What up?
We are back in the business. True Skool TV podcast. Check us out. TrueSkool.com, TrueSkoolTV.com. All the things. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in and tapping in with us, whether Facebook, Instagram, website, wherever you checking us out. We greatly appreciate it. And we back at it on a Friday, feeling blessed and highly favored. How you feeling, bro?
Chilling, man, chilling.
Yeah, so we haven't been around. It's been a really busy summer.
Yeah,
for everybody I know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're any different. You know, you got things popping. I got things popping. But we still gonna keep it real, keep it true. You know what I mean?
For those who don't know, this is True Skool TV. We do this every Friday here at alldayplay.fm, and we got my man Unlearn the World. He's MC, educator for Hip Hop for Change, nonprofit organization based out of Oakland, California.
That's what I do. You know, hip hop educator, rapper, producer, DJ now. I do DJ now. I throw that in the cap.
Okay.
That's been a development since the last time we was here. Like, I actually now DJ. It's kind of a thing.
That's messed up. Why are you doing that for?
Because I love DJs. I respect y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all started the culture. I like you guys so much. I want to become one of you and then replace you guys.
Why are you trying to get all the DJ money?
Because it's money to be made. It's better than rapper money. Let me tell you that. I'll tell you that right the fuck now. DJ money is way better than rapper money.
And we know that personally because we know some rappers who turned DJs over the past few years.
Exactly.
Some do it well.
Some do it very well. Shout out to Mark Stretch, who's one off the top of my head.
One Way.
You know what I'm saying? One Way. Shout out to One Way. You know, that's some local legends out here.
Mark DeVita, he's a dope MC too. People don't know him, but people know him as a DJ now.
Okay. Do you know his rap name?
His rap name is Spastic MC.
There you go. Yeah. I would be a DJ too, man. No disrespect. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, no disrespect. I just, spastic. But who are some like older, well-known people who are also DJs that we don't know? Rakim, right?
Oh yeah, Rakim. People kind of know.
Eric Sermon, obviously.
Diamond D.
Now we like Tony Toka. Yeah, for real. But who's Talib Kweli is a DJ.
Oh, yep.
Talib Kweli is also a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Downtown Loretta Brown, also known as Erykah Badu. Also a DJ. So, there's space for that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of MCs who have transitioned or have always been DJs and are now branding themselves as DJs or get booked as DJs and vice versa. We're not really vice versa. It's really the DJ because the DJ money is real and we got to appreciate that. But yeah, that's let's kind of get into it. We have a whole lot of things to cover. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of things are going on in the culture that we want to cover. One thing that was making a frenzy was this top 50 list that was put out by Ebro from Hot 97.
Was he the first one?
I think so. I think that's who everybody, the one list that everybody's like in an uproar about that put Joe Budden as number 3 on the top 50 list. I think that's the list that Ebro's responsible for. But in any case, like, I think, there was a lot of criticism about this list that went viral. Yep. People had their 2 cents about it. People then responded with their own list about different things, about MCs. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that Joe Budden was is he on the top 50? You're a big fan of Joe Budden.
I'm a very big fan of Joe Budden as a personality within the culture of hip-hop, and I think just in general, I think he's one of our more prominent voices nowadays, and more than at any other point in his career. But as an MC, I think for me personally, Joe Budden would probably be in my top 60.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't be in the top 50. I think I can name easily 50 MCs who are way better than Joe Budden. But I think he's in my top 60 for influences and like, in terms of like people who I fuck with. His Mood Music mixtape series was amazing for people who didn't know. Outside of his own the catalog that you're aware of, that's mainstream record label shit. But I think one of the main criticisms about this list was that there were no women on the list. You know what I'm saying? Like there was like really no women, which is like insulting because like personally I can name like 5 women MCs who should be in top 10. You know what I'm saying? So there was that criticism. There was a criticism about there was no younger MCs, some of the younger folks, you know what I'm saying? Like beyond the generation of the Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole's. Like there was no younger MCs who were up for
was Drake on
there? Did we have a copy of the list? Let me check if that was the case. No, I don't think Drake is on anybody's top 50 list as an MC. I think one of the glaring issues is that, you know, there's the whole ghostwriting situation. And we're going to get into the ghostwriting thing. We have that as a topic here. We're going to get into the ghostwriting thing in a little bit. But I think a lot of people keep him off of any top MC list because of that whole Quentin Miller ghostwriting situation. And
tell me about it.
So
tell the folks about it.
During the battle that he was having, or the issue that he was having with Meek Mill, it was then revealed that he, in fact, had a ghostwriter write some of his songs. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's dude by the name of Quentin Miller, wrote a couple of songs for Drake that ended up on his album. I think if you're reading this, it's too late. Some of those songs came from Quentin Miller. Now, the references were released, so that you can hear Quentin Miller obviously singing the same hooks that Drake did. Some of the bars are the same. Drake's response to that was, I heard this dude, they were great records, I wanted them for myself, and I thought he was a talented dude, so I was like basically cutting him a break, like, yo, you know, like, I'm gonna give you this bread, we're gonna, you know, this is gonna be like a kind of a collab song, you know what I'm saying? And to Drake's credit, in his defense, it's not like he just completely ripped the record. He took the hook, he took maybe some bars, and then added his own sauce to it. Quentin Miller has subsequently responded also saying that, yo, it was a great opportunity, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? And me as a Drake fan, I don't think his pen game should ever be in question. I think he's one of the more prolific hip hop songwriters of our generation, you know what I'm saying? And in general, but I think going back to this whole list, I think we need to create different lists in different categories. We need to create a list for just raw MCs, right? MCs who spit bars lyric for lyric, because Sean P ain't on that list, the 50 list. You know what I'm saying? Pharoah Monch ain't on that list. You know what I'm saying? Black Thought, I think, is on that list. But you know what I'm saying? Like, these are people who bar for bar are probably the best rappers and most profound, you know what I'm saying, MCs ever. You know what I mean? But in terms of songs, they don't really have those great songs that capture the moment. And I think hip-hop is always about moments. So, you know, there's a lot of MCs who are dope, lyrical miracle, as I always like to say, but they can't capture a crowd. Like, you can't, I don't think there's not a lot of hip-hop audiences where a Sean Price record goes on and the club erupts in the way that if a Cardi B record went on, the club erupts. Like, she just did OVO Fest in Toronto, right? She gets on stage, the place erupts. I don't think you get that same response from some of our favorite MCs. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have some club joints.
Exactly. So I think you need to create a list of rappers, right? 50 rappers who are bar for bar. Inspect the Deck wasn't on that list. Like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? Hella MCs from Wu-Tang weren't on that list. Other MCs who we've known throughout, like, you know, in terms of just rappers, I think there's an argument to be made that some people should be included on that list. Now, there should be a 50 MC list also. You know what I'm saying? 50 MCs who can rock the crowd, who have the hit records, who have the presence. People like Biggie.
We have to add some criteria to it.
Right, exactly. So we're talking about the Biggies of the world, the Tupacs of the world, right? Cadence, flow, personality, all of those things that creates a different level of standard. You know what I'm saying? There's hella intricate MCs who aren't as charismatic. Nas being one of them. Nas is one of the more prolific MCs. He has some hit records in his catalog. He's not the most charismatic guy. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's charismatic, but he doesn't have a stage presence.
There's something lacking in his presence.
This is showmanship.
This is from day one Nas fan. There's just something lacking in his presence that it doesn't connect to the people, which is why I think we were talking about it earlier this week.
I think Rakim has a similar type of thing. I mean, listen to them for the lyrics.
Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Nas, I always put in the same like kind of vein in terms of like category, like, you know what I'm saying?
But Big Daddy Kane
had a personality as a fuck. He was flashy, he danced, you know what I'm saying? So like, he's outside of that, but Rakim being one of them, Nas is another one, prolific MC, not the most charismatic or personable, you know what I'm saying? Which is why, like, in Nas's later work, when he gets into his like personal shit, I loved it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were talking about it earlier, like, Life is Good is, I think, my favorite Nas album besides Illmatic, because he was just being personal. Like, he was talking about divorce, he was talking about grown man shit that at the time I was relating to, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, he's just letting it all hang out, like, you know. And I felt it, and you know, he was able to articulate it in such a beautiful way. So respect to Nas, respect to OGs, but I think when we create these lists, we do a disservice to a lot of MCs without putting those kind of criteria and categories. So there should be a 50 best rapper list, there should be a 50 best MC list, and there should be a 50 best hip-hop songwriter list, people who can make hit records, right, that create cultural impact, right? So Cardi B would obviously be on that list. If we were just talking about songwriters creating cultural impact, Drake then tops that list, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about his catalog for the last 10 years. He's remained on top, right? Jay-Z is obviously on that list. Jay-Z probably is on all three of those lists. But there will be MCs who are on, there'll be rappers who are on the hip-hop songwriter list that aren't on the rapper list. You know what I'm saying? So I just think there are nuances to these lists, but I think also these lists are a means to like go viral, to create that conversation, to create that debate. But there are also other lists out there. Magic Johnson put out a list. I don't know if there's anybody out there who really wants to hear about what Magic Johnson thinks about hip hop, but
and Mike Tyson too.
Mike Tyson put out a list, but like let's look at Magic Johnson's list, for example. He had good people on it. He put J. Cole in like the top 30.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He put Tupac.
J. Cole's in my top 50.
You know, he put Tupac as number 1.
Okay.
He put LL Cool J in his top 3. You know what I'm saying? He had Wyclef Jean rounding out his top 60, which is absurd. Absurd. He put Digital Underground as a group in his top 15. They round out the top 15. You know what I'm saying? So like he put Kanye West in there. So shout out to Magic Johnson for being at all relevant. Like I was just telling you earlier, like I didn't even think Magic Johnson listened to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm of the opinion for sure Michael Jordan doesn't listen to hip hop. Unless you can give me a picture or a video of Michael Jordan listening to hip hop, I don't think he ever listened to hip hop at any point.
What do you think he listens?
I think he's an R&B cat. I think he's listening to like old school R&B. Like I think the closest Michael Jordan ever gets to hip hop is like Teddy Riley.
Okay.
Like New Jack Swing shit. Because he's from that era. He's from like the 80s, like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Michael Jordan is listening to hip hop. Maybe somebody.
And shout out to what you call it? Man, I'm sorry.
Who?
The Riley cat.
Teddy Riley?
Teddy Riley just got Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Teddy Riley.
Yeah.
Virginia stand up. You know what I mean? Like that was, he was Brooklyn by way of Virginia, because I remember he was spending time in New York a lot of time. Mike Tyson's list was crazy. Okay. Mike Tyson's list, I wouldn't go as far as to say that it was the most accurate list, but he did include people who haven't gotten their flowers like that. He put Tretch from Naughty by Nature in his top 20. He put Prodigy, which I don't think Prodigy is on a lot of people's like top list. You know what I'm saying? He put people like Queen Latifah in there. He rounded out the list with Missy Elliott. You know what I'm saying? He put Missy Elliott in there. He put Heavy D, Mos Def, Pusha T, Bun B. So it shows to me, like, based on the names that he put in here, he put Chuck D, 41. You know
Chuck D, I would put on my top 50 too.
Really?
Yeah. Just because
for lyrics or impact?
Absolutely, both. Because lyrically, I mean, I remember like picking up the It Takes a Nation, Billions to Hold Us Back, and just trying to read through the liner notes and the lyrics. The lyrics are really complex. His rhyme style, his cadence is really unorthodox.
True.
You know what I mean? And he's still keeping the rhythm, but it's on some other shit. So when I was trying to like follow the rhyme and the rhythm, I couldn't follow it.
It's a different pocket.
I mean? It's a whole different thing.
It's a different pocket.
And just on creativity and on that, and then the impact also just of what he was actually saying.
He put Lauryn Hill on the list. He put The Game on the list. Like I'm not really mad at this list only because there are names that don't necessarily always get recognized and not always in the conversation. Bun B is never in the conversation with regard to MCs and lyricism. I don't know why. Right? Cameron, who I think, you know what I'm saying, as an uptown boy myself. T.I. he put on this list. Mike Tyson's list is it's also intergenerational, right? Like it goes Jadakiss, Tretch, Andre 3000. These are all different generations, right? J. Cole, Big L, Melly Mel. He puts on his list. I know you was excited.
Melly Mel, he's got some bars, yo.
You know what I'm saying? DMX is on this list. I mean, there were some people saying that if DMX isn't on the top 50 list, that list is trash, which I think I kind of agree with. If we're talking about impact, we're talking about hit records, we're talking about lyricism. DMX kind of rounds out the list. I wouldn't put him in like the top 30. I'm thinking like towards the end. But if DMX isn't on that list, I don't know really what's wrong with you.
Okay, which song is the most lyrical DMX?
I mean, he has so many. You know what I'm saying? He has so many that were impactful. He has so many, slipping, falling, can't get up. He was dope on that. Like, what kind of game to be?
Yeah, I was on DMX before he became popular. So like when he did,
he was doing the mixtape when he was killing the mixtapes. Like that's the DMX that I love. I love the DMX that was on Hot 97 doing a cipher with Nori and Cannabis and bodied the two of them. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of his style. Like, yo, niggas don't fuck with perms. He was fucking bugging. He was bugging out. I think that shit should be on YouTube. If you're a real hip-hop head, check out MC Cypher, Cannabis, Nori, DMX, and you'll hear the Hot 97 freestyle that they did. I remember being a kid and taping it. Whenever the head is severed from the human body with a sharp enough weapon, the brain remains conscious for 10 seconds. That's Cannabis. Like, Cannabis ain't gonna be on this list though. So shout out to everybody who created their own list. Those were kind of dope. But I got a gripe with you, sir.
What's up?
I got a gripe with you because we were talking about lists, and we're gonna get into it in a minute. And I'm always one to be very vocal about the West Coast Jay-Z hate out here. And y'all need to stop, you know what I'm saying, stop playing and give him his flowers as an MC.
Wait. Before we get into that though, we let's just go into a video. Let's go into the Big Daddy Kane and just show you what a real MC is.
Okay, let's do this. So we're playing this video?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so check this out, TrueSchool.com. You can check it out. Big Daddy Kane live performance in Russia back in 2019. So this is decades beyond Big Daddy Kane's prime, you know what I mean? And you guys are gonna see a motherfucking show. This is showmanship at its finest, and we're gonna keep this shit on so that we're gonna keep the reaction on so that we can actually play it and not get like sued. Or
I don't think we can. I don't think we will because it's a live performance.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so it's loading. Big Daddy Kane live performance in Russia for some festival, V1 festival. This looks like hip hop as shit.
Let's do it.
Oh my god, this is hip hop as fuck.
Get him up. Let's go. Get him up.
That's as far as it goes.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, get him up. Let's go. Get it up. Come on, get it up. Hey, it's dragging. As I start to back it, rappers on the bandwagon. Get the book from the winner. Game with men are slaves. I'm sitting the A because I penetrate. Mess up, learn to dress up, so to mess up. I try to dress up, it's better to fess up. If a rapper ever goes too far, man, I start screaming on G's like Tarzan. Witness and clear, we're not here. None of the peers until you see the fear. Child, you gotta understand, you're just a man. Sit next to the man, sit next to the man, sit next to the man. No one player group higher than number size. Fucking I'm gonna die. Why till I retire? Whatever the comments, I burn them like fire with thorn blow. I hit them hard like fire. Take your hand and go. This is so low control. No one grabs a hold. Yo, you got something to say before it's told. Speaking of me, let a hop West, but yo, I ain't trying to have no pity anyone, but y'all get that. You better get back. Clear away when you shouldn't coming through. Back and bow, enough respect you. If y'all love hip hop, make some noise. Nah, if you really love hip hop, make some goddamn noise. Don't forget to do this. Narrow, get bold. I just can't hold back and forth, cause I'm the man for soul. In control and effects of what the heck? Rock the discotheque. Just creep the what man. The best reaction, just the lack of who's the win. So told the flow with the wounded it. I shoot the crowd loud, break the height. Shoot damage on stage and age of the mic. If I shoot the gift from T, stand still. Tell the watch stick till you like skipping your kill. Feel my blood fist on my death kiss. Rap solo with you don't want none of this. Dreaming this ever, brain with terror. When I grab the mic, believe you're gonna hear her. Fascinating rhyme is how
Holy shit.
So let's go sing the Big Daddy.
You know?
If you don't know, now you know, man. Check out TrueSchoolTV.com so you can catch a glimpse of Big Daddy Kane live performance V1 festival out there in Russia. That's probably the most hip hop shit I've seen all fucking week.
You know?
And I live and breathe this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. That shit is nuts. It's really, really, really nuts. I mean, what also speaks to me is just the fact that like hip hop is so global now. Like you can get that kind of environment and get that kind of turnout for Big Daddy
And that
Kane.
type of reaction.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think, I mean, you know, not for nothing, this is no disrespect intended, right? Like, I don't think Big Daddy Kane can fill a venue of 300-400 people in the way that he would overseas. In the way that he would overseas?
He could fit He could do 400.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know about
500. Like he's not packing out a 500 venue. Out here?
Yeah, he performs out here.
500 people?
Sure.
I doubt it.
I mean,
I don't believe
he
it.
does Yoshi's.
I don't believe it.
He does. What was the last time he saw? Let's bring him out.
I don't believe it. I opened up for him in Detroit at the Shelter, and he didn't bring that many people out. You know what I'm saying? And that was like, that was 2002, 2003. You know what I'm saying? So that's my.
That's a long time ago.
That's my frame of reference. But it's not like he put out a hit record after that.
But
right?
he's been.
You know what I'm saying? Which reminds me, which is a shout out to like a lot of the older MCs who are now doing like the 25th year anniversaries of a lot of their records and like the 30th year anniversary. So they're doing the tours, and you know what I'm saying? Like Nas, not Nas, but Wu-Tang was doing it for the 25th year anniversary of 36 Chambers. Nas did it for Illmatic. So a lot of these artists who haven't been in the game for a minute are coming back because their albums that were so impactful back then are now having these anniversaries. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of which, Hyro. You know what I'm saying? Hyro has their Third Eye. Is it with the Third Eye? What's that? The album is the anniversary this year.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know. It was
the Third Eye something anniversary this year, right? Which brings us to Hyro Day and the Hyro Day lineup. You know what I'm saying?
Third Eye Vision.
Third Eye Vision album. It's their anniversary of that album dropping, and they're doing a tour. But that brings up us to Hyro Day, one of the biggest hip hop days out here, biggest hip hop celebrations out here in the Bay Area, and kind of mixed reviews about this lineup, yo. Shout out to Hyro. I know you guys don't really have input in terms of maybe they do. I don't know, but
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they have insight and they lend their voices to it. That's not to say, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know how I feel about this lineup.
Hyro Day's always been like one of these groundbreaking platforms for like, artists who are about to become big. Like, they had Anderson .Paak before he became big.
Yeah,
there was other artists.
Hyro Day is known for breaking artists in certain respects. You know what I'm saying? And I think Hyro was
representing the underground.
And I think they were on to the idea of doing the festival thing way before it started becoming saturated.
Oh yeah,
it's a saturated market. You got Rolling Loud. You got a whole bunch of other festivals out here every year that people are trying to get into, especially the space of older artists now trying to provide platforms. You know what I'm saying? Like the Alcoholics are putting together a festival.
Oh, I didn't know
Far Side are trying to put together festivals. A lot of, you know what I'm saying? Same thing on the East Coast. There are a lot of artists that are trying to put together festivals on the East Coast, in LA. So it's a new thing of the last maybe 2 years, but Hyro was kind of like the pioneers of being one of those elder statesmen in hip hop, providing the platform for younger artists. But this, what I do appreciate about this lineup though is the heavy East Coast influence. You got Black Moon, Smith and Wesson. I grew up off of that. You know what I'm saying? I love Black Moon. I love Smith and Wesson. Benny the Butcher and Conway the Machine, who I opened up for the Smoked Out Barbecue. They're part of Griselda, making major power moves. They were signed to Eminem. They just signed a deal with Rock Nation. And that's a good segue into the Jay-Z Rock Nation situation. Then we got a lot of dope, and there's a lot
Adrian
of
Young, Alicia Keys.
That's gonna be cool.
Scarface is definitely one of the ones I want to see.
I'm more excited about Scarface than anybody else on this bill. Little Brother. That's cool. I don't know.
I think they should be like they're the top bill. Totally. This whole list. Little Brother.
Yeah, I just don't know how
coming
much
back.
The heads out here really fuck with them like that, but maybe they do.
I think they do. Ninth Wonder. Fonte and Big Boo have been doing their own
Ninth
thing.
Wonder isn't part of it. I think it's just the rappers.
No, it can't be Little Brother without Ninth Wonder, yo.
I don't think Ninth Wonder has any part of it.
Of course he does. And they put
Look it up, because I don't think he does. I think it's all the rappers.
He is Little Brother.
His sound is Little Brother.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be Little Brother. It wouldn't be Little Brother without Ninth Wonder.
We're gonna have to look that up in a minute.
And they just put out a Little Brother documentary. You should check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Do you have it on TrueSchoolTV.com?
Yep.
There it goes. TrueSchoolTV.com, for all those who don't know, is like a one-stop shop for all hip-hop video content all across the net. Rather than you spending hours on YouTube trying to find your favorite podcast or music video or whatever, you could go to TrueSchoolTV.com and it's all categorized for you. Ren does a brilliant job of like cataloging all the shit. So check it out, TrueSchoolTV.com. Make sure y'all tap in, tune in. Can they sign up as members or they just...
Yeah, you can sign up as members or you can just go on.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But back to this list. So, a lot of DJs, a lot of fucking DJs. Shout out to Ray Rec, my homegirl, Red Corvette, Pony P. I see who else? DJ Umami's on this.
Diamond D,
Oakland Faders, Lady Ryan, so Jay Espinosa. There's a lot of DJs, and going back to the whole DJ conversation, right? I don't think DJs get enough love when it comes to this whole like festival kind of thing, like to get booked for the festivals and to really do some dope shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, the only, I mean, not the only, but one of the standout DJ performances I've ever seen was Prince Paul at the Elbow Room in San Francisco. I've never seen somebody light up an audience the way that he did in terms of like his routine and how he like put together his blends and mixed it from old school to new school, and like literally within like a span of 20 minutes I went from Slum Village to Cardi B.
And he's the OG.
Seamlessly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Seamlessly. So shout out to all the DJs still holding it down. And
you know who's dope too as a DJ? Surprisingly, when I caught him, it was Ninth Wonder is actually a dope ass DJ.
I would imagine.
He quick mixing, all that.
Yeah, I would definitely imagine that he's pretty dope at it.
I opened for him, Pharaoh Monch, Rhapsody, and who else was on that bill? But yeah, that was dope. I mean, Tony Touch is also on that too.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a dope set.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. I gotta get out and see more DJs. But we were talking about Benny the Butcher and Conway because I think they're the main headliners. They just signed a deal with Rock Nation, which is big, massive. Shout out to Benny the Butcher and Ola Griselda for that. But that brings us into the big topic of concern and query within the culture of hip-hop. Jay-Z teaming up with the NFL. So there's an article in The Atlantic written by Jamel Hill saying Jay-Z helped the NFL banish Colin Kaepernick. Right, the former quarterback caused a problem for the league, which turned to the celebrated rapper for assistance. And then, so the article starts by saying, yesterday, hip-hop mogul Jay-Z and National Football League Commissioner Roger Goodell held a joint media session at the Rock Nation offices in New York to seal a once implausible partnership that isn't being received as positively as both parties probably hoped. So the idea is that Jay-Z is creating an initiative within the NFL as a partnership with Rock Nation, which is his brand, to create some sort of social justice initiatives, developing content and spaces where players can speak about social issues that concern them. A lot of people are giving backlash and giving flack to Jay-Z because they think it's a sellout move. And that's you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he boycotted the Super Bowl and didn't participate in the performance after being offered the Super Bowl performance spot because of solidarity with Colin Kaepernick. He's also spoken out on lyrics saying that, you know, he doesn't want fuck with the NFL, and then now here's this space where the NFL is coming to him.
And he also told Rihanna not to perform for that.
Rihanna as well, but Rihanna's a Rock Nation artist. So there's that.
I'm saying, you know, he also encouraged other people.
Right, he encouraged a lot of other people to do that boycott and to hold it down in that kit. So I think a lot of people are criticizing him as this being like a pivot or backslide to what he was representing. I saw the interview that he did with Roger Goodell there present, and he was like, we all know the issue. I think we've moved beyond the kneeling.
Can we play that part?
It was on my Instagram, unless you can find it immediately. Okay, yeah, so he was basically saying, I'm paraphrasing here, but the idea was that he was asked, would you stand or would you kneel if you were a player? And his response was, I think we've moved beyond that. I think, you know, he said, we all know what the issue is, and now that we know what the issue is, how do we move forward in a way that's gonna help? You know what I'm saying? And I thought, you know, he was saying that people are losing sight of what the issue at hand was. Colin Kaepernick wasn't just kneeling, and the issue was never just Colin Kaepernick. It was about him kneeling for injustice and the injustices that he was bringing attention to by the kneel and what the kneel represented, right? But that means that Colin Kaepernick is still presently out of a job. You know what I'm saying? So it was a question that you and I were speaking about yesterday, and I was like, my question to you was, if Colin Kaepernick gets his job back, does racism still exist in America?
Of course.
Obviously, right? So the issue at hand isn't whether or not Colin Kaepernick has a job, and I don't think he's hurting for a job, and I don't think he's urgently running to go back to the NFL, right? And I'm sure there are a lot of people who are saying, the same people who are criticizing Jay-Z for the partnership with Rock Nation would be the same people who would criticize Colin Kaepernick if he went back to the NFL.
Well,
No?
no. Not necessarily.
No?
I think it would be a win.
You mean to
I
tell
think it would
me
be
if
a win.
Colin Kaepernick was given a contract by any team in the NFL and he accepted it,
Yes.
that people would be okay with that?
Of course. Because that's a win.
No.
He got his job back. You know what I mean? I think the main issue here is there's two issues. Right?
Okay, what are the two issues?
The two issues is like you said is equity.
Right.
Number one is police brutality and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that is correct. But that's not the only issue. And because the NFL has targeted Kaepernick for their boycott of him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's a larger issue at hand here. You know what I mean? The equity part, the part where you're not letting your employees protest. You know what I mean?
Right, but
and just blackballing them all together as a whole organization.
No, and I get the issue at hand. I get all of that. But my point is that I honestly don't believe that if Colin Kaepernick was offered a job back with the NFL, that people would be, that A, racism doesn't go away because he gets a job back, number one. Number two, I don't think the policies change if he gets his job back.
Well, I mean,
that would be something that would have to change. They would have to be negotiated. I don't know if they're changing just by virtue of him getting back.
I think just him getting back there,
I think
is a policy shift.
Yeah, but I think there's other ways to do that policy shift that don't require Colin Kaepernick getting his job back. And if and when he does get his job back, I don't think that resolves the issue. And
we're not talking about Colin Kaepernick, though. We're still talking about Jay-Z, though.
Right, exactly. That's my point.
and that's a hypothetical.
The point that I was making is that Jay-Z's making this move as a means to gain equity, because equity is the key issue at hand, is a means to create initiatives within the NFL that doesn't create the repercussions so that another Colin Kaepernick happens.
So you think he's going to address those issues?
I think that's 100% what this whole article is about. Is the idea is that Rock Nation is joining as a cultural ambassador, so to speak, among people of color, among urban audience, whatever the case is, in order to create content and initiatives that give us equity within this space. Right, so that other artists who want to take a political stance, whether it's kneeling for police brutality or saying fuck Donald Trump, whatever their issue is, that they're not given repercussions because of their free speech. I think that's the play that he's playing. I think it's a larger conversation to have. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the same people who are criticizing Jay-Z for being a quote-unquote sellout for doing this move would be the same people who would say that Colin Kaepernick would be a sellout if he got his job back or if he was offered his job back.
I doubt that.
You know what I'm saying?
Different issues altogether. I mean, the fact that Jay-Z actually specifically said we're moving past the kneeling issue. We're moving past Kaepernick. Right, because it was we're gonna just focus on the police brutality.
Because we're looking at the bigger play at hand. It wasn't just about
I didn't hear in the interview where he talked about, oh yeah, and we're bringing this.
Well, that's the whole idea. This is what the article is telling me. The article is telling me that the idea is that that Rock Nation will also help augment the NFL's social justice initiatives by developing content and spaces where players can speak about the issues that concern them, right? So that's the entire partnership. It's not like he's just creating, I think people are misreading it. I think people are saying, oh, he's signing a deal with Rock Nation to just get money. You know what I'm saying? They're not understanding what the particulars of the deal are. Even though Rock Nation does have a department that is specifically dedicated to artists, or not artists, but athlete management. So I think people are thinking about that.
The issue is also that Jay-Z said specifically, oh yeah, I had a conversation with Kaepernick. Yeah. And then in the article, it's just like, oh yeah, that according to Kaepernick's girlfriend, that conversation did not go very well.
Who said this? When was this?
Read the article. Scroll down a little bit further. There was a conversation.
A source close to Kaepernick speaking on the condition of anonymity said it was not a good conversation. Okay, well,
I mean,
these are questions. I just think
they didn't roll together. You know what I mean? He's doing this on his own, and the conversation didn't go well.
Again, I think this is not about Colin Kaepernick as the makeshift scapegoat for all things racism, all things white supremacy.
But he has become
but that
of the NFL.
Right, but I think by focusing, me personally, I think that by focusing on Colin Kaepernick, we lose sight of what the bigger play is. You know what I'm saying? The play and the movement isn't about getting Colin Kaepernick his job back. Well, the play and the movement is about repercussions that happen from athletes taking political stances in public spaces.
True.
And I think that's the play that we need to kind of figure out. That's what we're trying to figure out. Colin Kaepernick, on one level or another, unfortunately, was a martyr for the cause, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's only if he never gets his job back.
And we're still talking about the same thing. It's all along the same thread of systemic racism.
100%. Do we know
still under the same umbrella?
Do we know if Colin Kaepernick wants his job back? Has he expressed that he wants his job back? That if he was given an offer by the NFL today,
I think he would
accept that?
I think he would accept that. He's a great quarterback, and I think that, it's just like, okay, well, you could take any athlete, Curry, right? You know what I mean? And just be like, well, do you think Curry would like his job back? Of course, he's the coolest basketball player.
Right, but does he want his job back at the expense of having to compromise the goals and the objectives that he was setting out to achieve?
Well, I think it would,
because I don't think those two things happen at the same time.
It definitely detracted him being blackball definitely detracted from the issue, but it also kind of speaks to the larger issue.
Right. I
you know what I mean?
I get it. I mean, we'll see how this unfolds.
People just being like, oh, police brutality, that doesn't really matter, and it doesn't exist anyway, and you need to get off our field.
Right, but I also think that people like Jay-Z creating a space with the NFL to have that equity, I think is also helpful. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and this is me also coming off the heels of me feeling that there's a lot of people in woke America who just don't like Jay-Z, and they always think that Jay-Z can do more with his power and his...
Well, no, he does a lot.
You know he does.
And the article lays it out. Like, at the end, it's just like, I'm not dissing him for his because he does a lot.
No, but it's kind of hyperbolic. This headline: Jay-Z helps the NFL banish Colin Kaepernick. That's like clickbait shit.
It is, but in a kind of, it does. It's not specific. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, not literally,
right,
but figuratively.
I feel it. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll keep it. And
that's why I was comparing Jay-Z's move to Chrisette Michele. Everybody
that's
remembers.
What I had issue with.
Everybody
explain yourself, sir. You said
everybody had issues with Chrisette Michele going and performing for Trump, right?
Okay.
So the way it has a very,
I think that's a false equivalent. I think that's a dangerous
it's very similar to what's going on here.
False equivalent. That's not Jay-Z partnering up. That's not Kanye level fucking.
All she was doing was trying to perform, and her reasoning was similar to what Jay-Z is. Well, I wanted to bridge the gap. I'm trying to bring the people together. I think that's a good way to just get in there and have a conversation. You know what I mean?
She was trying to perform. This isn't Jay-Z trying to perform.
But that was her reasoning. That was her reasoning. It was like, well, I could.
But it's Chrisette Michele and Jay-Z. No one gives a fuck about Chrisette Michele. She has no equity in anything. She doesn't push the needle forward, right? Somebody like Jay-Z, as prestigious as Jay-Z or Beyonce, to create an initiative, and we're not just talking about him singing and dancing. We're talking about creating an initiative with his company, with his brand as an artist, to create spaces where artists can express themselves, where activists or athletes can express themselves without fear of repercussion. I think that's vastly different than Chrisette Michele trying to perform at a motherfucking inauguration, right? Or even Kanye West and Kim Kardashian hanging out and being all chummy with Trump. These are completely different things. I think it's a false equivalency, and I'm mad at you for it. But in any case, we're gonna move on. We're gonna get to this YBN Cordae R&P with Anderson .Paak on the Tonight Show. In my opinion, one of the dopest hip-hop performances in the last few years. It was a level up moment for YBN Cordae, who's been making a lot of waves in the hip-hop world because he's bringing back lyricism in one way or another.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? From that whole Young and Lil and whatever that category of younger artist is. So I think there's a lot of excitement around him. So let's play this video. You can find it on TrueSchool.com. There's so many websites you can go to. TrueSchool.com has all your event information. So if you're in the Bay Area, you want to get down with hip-hop, anything old school, new school, True True School, Ratchet, Revolutionary, whatever the case is. Check out TrueSchool.com and you'll find out all the events that are going on. You could also hit us up for events if you need to get event promo, all that shit. Hit up TrueSchool.com, and then TrueSchoolTV.com has all the videos that you want to watch. So if you feel like binge watching hip hop for the next 10 hours of your life, go to TrueSchoolTV.com. We got you covered. But let's check out this YBN Corday and Anderson .Paak performance on Live with Jimmy Kimmel.
Performing RNP from his upcoming project, The Lost Boy, with a little help from Anderson .Paak and The Roots. Give it up for YBN Corday!
New York City, come on. One of y'all gonna be messing with me. I got 2 bad bras gonna be rubbing my feet. I got 3 young shooters at the bus at the heat, and all y'all ain't got nothing on me. Now one of y'all gonna be messing with me. I got 2 bad misses gonna be rubbing my feet. I got 3 young shooters at the bus at the heat, and all y'all ain't got nothing on me.
Come on, put your hands up, it's the anthem. Smiling cause I'm young, rich, black, and I'm handsome. Not to mention wealthy, body on a healthy. Young millionaire, what really can you tell me? Smell me? Boy, that Chanel cologne. I'm in Europe with the tourists when they sell your phone. She like,
ooh, sound like rich brother problems. I get a bad chick with a fist full of condoms. In the randomness like risky menages. Hit the head right, she can get what she want in this instant. Blown in my drip like a faucet. She told me she was pregnant. I ain't even take the mother out my pocket.
hold on, the opposite. She want me to fly her, so I cop the jet. Must be thinking I'm a one-way ticket on a runway. Tripping in my feng shui, tripping on a Sunday.
One of y'all gonna be messing with me. I got 2 bad bras gonna be rubbing my feet. I got 3 young shooters at the bus at the heat, and all y'all ain't got nothing on me. Now one of y'all gonna be messing with me. I got 2 bad misses gonna be rubbing my feet. Come on, 3 young shooters at the bus at the heat, and all y'all ain't got nothing on me.
Listen, I bought a Montclair coat for the times where it broke.
I'ma wear it in the summer on LeBron James boat.
Front row,
Duh, bro.
we don't sit in those
Ain't
bleeds.
your pockets obese?
They won't fit in those seats.
Ain't we like a coaching?
Bro, Shaq and Kobe.
Like back in 03?
I was only like 6,
I was like 16.
but I can give her 16.
I can make a chick scream.
That's a bit extreme.
I got a thick bald chick, I call her Miss Clean. I drip frosty like House and Listerine. We all stars, you hardly 6 screen.
Yeah, I had to ball hard to harvest these dreams.
Swear to God, me too.
No Harvey Weinstein, the coupe was lime green, my wrist was blinding.
Probably in New York, Ferraris and blue cheese.
But what does that even mean?
Just let the hook sing.
Come on.
One of y'all gonna be messing with me. I got 2 bad bras gonna be rubbing my feet. I got 3 young misses down the bus at the heat, and all y'all ain't got nothing on me.
Hey,
Now one of y'all gonna be messing with me. Come on, 2 bad bras gonna be rubbing my feet. Come on, 3 young hippies at the bus at the heat, and all y'all ain't got nothing on me. YBN Corday,
Anderson .Paak,
yes Lord.
Yo,
Jimmy Fallon, New York City.
it gets better every time I see it. Like this performance, like easily is one of the best on-air hip-hop performances in the last 5 to 10 years.
I have to agree.
I mean, that's just the reaction of the crowd. They're not even responding to the record. They're responding to the energy that's being produced. That's hip-hop as fuck, right? The optic of Anderson .Paak, YBN Corday, and Questlove in the background playing drums is
And this year, the performance was mad hip hop. They had like moves. They had
coordination, choreography, charisma, stage presence, all of that. Shout
they're
out to
trading bars.
Exactly.
Run DMC style.
It's a great record. Like even the energy of the record when you just hear it by itself without the performance, it's still dope and live. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to like Jimmy Fallon just for being Jimmy Fallon. Like you know what I mean? Like he just always provides a space for hip hop artists to be broken or not broken, but like, you know, breaking acts and being entertained and all of that stuff. And he's an ally. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, he's hip hop head, ally, reps for the culture all the time. You know what I mean? So I can't say enough good things about it. But what else do we have on the thing here? We have a couple of things. Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy getting into some new shenanigans. Dave Chappelle sharing new trailer for Sticks and Stones, which is a new special that he has. Let's check this out. Again, you can check this out on TrueSchool.com. Here is the trailer for his next stand-up comedy special.
This is Dave.
Still has Morgan
tells
Freeman
jokes for a living.
doing the
Hopefully
narration.
he
I
makes
love that.
people laugh. But these days, it's a high-stakes game. How did we get here, I wonder?
Is he wearing leather pants?
Metaphorically, I'm really asking.
Dave needs to cut it out.
Get here. I mean, what the fuck is this? But what do I know? I'm just Morgan Freeman. Anyway,
Hilarious.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you say anything, you risk everything. But if that's the way it's gotta be, okay, fine, fuck it. He's back, folks.
I love it. I love it. Dave Chappelle, brand new stand-up comedy, Sticks and Stones, gonna be on Netflix. Check that out when you get a chance. We got Eddie Murphy also starring in a new film, rebreaking Dolomite, right? Blaxploitation film from the 70s that people may be aware of, you know what I mean? I know woke America is gonna be like, oh brother, you shouldn't be doing this again. You know what I mean? He a sellout too.
Never. I love it. Put your hands
Oh my God, this just looks great.
Dolomite is my name.
I love it.
Hey, you know, Auntie, I was thinking about putting out a comedy record.
Comedy? You been a singer, a shape dancer?
That's real hard to break in.
I gotta see the first Dolomite. I've never seen the Dolomite, the original.
Nah, me neither.
Dolomite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
Based on the true story? Fam.
It's all pretend. I just created a character.
You true.
Pull on that.
Oh, that's a
That's right. Whatever it takes, I'm ready to do it. I got to be totally outrageous.
It's filthy. You've got a product here that you can't sell or promote.
All my life,
Hustle and
people
Flow
telling me
director. This is funny.
Brody.
Sometimes our dreams just don't come true.
A man slammed a door in my face. I just found another door.
I want the world to know I exist. You can write.
For those who just tapped in on me on Instagram or Facebook, man, we're watching the trailer to Dolomite, the new Dolomite by Eddie Murphy,
Everywhere, all at
featuring a
once.
lot of
Let's
dope
bring Dolomite to the
actors.
screen.
This is crazy.
The actors we hire, you're a bit doughier than them.
Doughy.
Is that T.I.? Shout out to T.I. Oh man,
Durban Martin.
I'm offering
Mike
you
Epps is in it, like Craig Robinson, like a whole lot of OGs in the comedy game are in this, man. I love it.
What if we let
I
you
love
direct?
it. I love it. Let's get this started again.
In storytelling, it's always best to
Is that-
write what you know.
Ain't nothing to talk about my personal life. I deal with the nightlife, club owners and
no, that's not Jordan Peele, that's
pimps and
Michael
kung fu.
Do you know karate?
Yeah, but I'm a fast learner. I can learn how to chop me a muff.
Wesley Snipes.
Give it to me.
Bam.
Pretending like he could be a sex machine. What planet is this cat on?
I love this. I love everything about this right now.
This thing flops, you're gonna be working for free for the rest of your life.
I'm so grateful for what you did for me, cause I never seen nobody that looks like me up there on that big screen.
Snoop Dogg.
God damn, Dolomite.
Yeah, y'all gotta go check this out, man. Dolomite gonna be on Netflix. Dolomite is my name. Official trailer on TrueSchool.com. Make sure you check us at TrueSchool.com, TrueSchoolTV.com. All of that stuff, man. Hilarious. Eddie Murphy still got it, bro.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy still got it. Like, I think he's also working on a comedy special from what people are saying. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It's interesting because we're now in like this whole brand new woke America, right? And I went back maybe a few months ago and saw Delirious. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, none of these jokes could ever be told in today's America.
You think?
I think he'd be canceled quicker than yo, seriously.
I gotta re-listen to it.
He starts by saying the F-bomb, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the first 3 minutes of the whole thing, he's talking the F-bomb,
That's
you know what I'm saying?
normal.
Like, well, yeah, it was normal in the 80s. It's not normal now.
It sure is,
You
sure.
say the F-bomb now, not F-bomb like as in F-U CK, not fuck. We're talking about the F-bomb in reference to people who same-sex, right? We're talking about that F-bomb. That's not, you know what I mean?
With regard to homosexuality.
Totally, exactly. But before we get out of here, real quick, I want to get into this whole ghostwriters of hip hop thing, because we were talking about it a little bit before when we talked about at the top of the show. We were talking about these MC lists, right? And we need to have three categories: rappers who rap, MCs who do records and perform and all of that, and then hip hop songwriters, right? Which is a completely different category that may or may not overlap with the other ones, right? But there's this whole list by the BBC about true secret ghostwriters in hip hop. You guys could check it out. Nas being one of them, who's written for a lot of other well-known artists, you know what I mean? Will Smith being one of them. He's written a lot of different raps for a lot of different other programs and projects. Grandmaster Caz, they start the article by talking about Grandmaster Caz and how he wrote his verses were stolen by Big Bang Hank of the group Rappers Delight.
Of the Sugar Hill Gang.
You know what I'm saying? Of the Sugar Hill Gang. Makes the first rap record in 1979, Rappers Delight. And Big Bang Hank steals the routine of Grandmaster Caz.
Yep.
Very interesting.
So not exactly ghost.
Just, it's just rappers reciting stuff that does not belong to them that they have not authored.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's that's the thing. But Nas also well known in spaces for writing raps for people like Will Smith. He wrote Getting Jiggy With It. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Rakim wrote Summertime for Will Smith. Will Smith don't be writing shit.
Yo.
That's why he ain't on nobody. Top 50
of Will
list.
Smith, before we go,
we
should show this. Will Smith is back at it with Jazzy Jeff.
We'll get into that in a minute, but I just want to cover all right. So who else was, what am I reading here? One of the best known ghetto riches rag stories. Big. Why are they talking about Biggie in this? Oh, it's shout out to Kathy Landoli from Hip Hop DX, dope journalist. Just talking about ghostwriting in general. Jay-Z, also a really well-known ghostwriter. For all those West Coast rappers with Jay-Z hating your blood, let me tell you like this. That song Still Dre, that y'all be slapping in your 6'4s and bouncing to, written by Jay-Z completely. That's all I got to say about that. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Sauce Money, while we're talking about Jay-Z, Sauce Money, he used to be affiliated with Jay-Z back in the days, was known for writing the song Missing You by Puff Daddy.
One of the
B.I.G. tribute.
One of the best ones he had was that the one on Ebonics? No, that's the Big L. But he had another one around that same time. I used to bump it.
Yeah. I mean, and the question is, do we need ghostwriters in hip-hop now? Can't you just say you're a hip-hop songwriter and write songs for other artists? Like, are we still in that phase of hip-hop where it's like a crime? I mean, I think it is still a crime for you not to be able to write your own raps, right? But as hip-hop makes more inroads into pop culture and into artistry, into pop music, all of that, is it as criminal as we used to make it back in the 90s, right? If you weren't an MC writing your own rhymes,
normal.
It's become normalized on one level or another. I think it's almost acceptable in certain respects. So I don't know if the term ghostwriter is appropriate anymore, because you could just be a dope MC who writes for other well-known performers.
Sure.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure the person who writes Cardi B's rhymes or helps her with her rhymes could have a sustainable career his own on the heels of that in his resume. I wrote for Cardi B. That gives you a career in this game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being able to be
what does that say for Cardi B as an artist?
I don't think it changes anything for her. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Speaking of Cardi B, she's about to be in a movie with J-Lo and Lizzo and like a whole bunch of like well-known artists. It's called Hustler. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be dope. That's pushing the thing forward. But yeah, I don't think it factors in anything. But let's get out of here. We're gonna get out of here in a minute. But we're gonna play for you guys. Will Smith getting back at it in the lab with Jazzy Jeff. So set this up for me. Is this
So this is them rehearsing. I think they're in Europe.
They're doing a European tour. Is that what's going on?
I think so. And so they're getting back together, and they recorded one of their performances within one of their rehearsals.
Okay, let's check this out. So this is Back at It with Jazzy Jeff, Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff. Oh, this is 2017.
It was years.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You didn't return my call for years.
It was not.
How many years did you not return my call? And I'll be like, yo. And you'd be like, nah.
2.
It's 31 years now, right?
30-something.
30-something. Since we like did a show, like damn.
Let's see.
No posting. Yeah. So we taking a little back, old school Philly style.
So they just came out,
Old school Philly style.
but it was back in 2017.
All right, we at rehearsal. We just messing around. You know, somebody throwing love rap. I don't know what you supposed to do with somebody throwing love rap. Yeah, you ready, Sanji? Here we go. When I was a young boy growing in Philly, I was sort of easy going. I was really a silly guy. Used to mess around. I was kind of a class clown. I hate to see you frown. Hate to see people down. Cause I like when fun flows like a faucet. But sometimes some guys mistake it for softness. But I ain't no silly sap sucker singer softy. When push come to shove, better back up off me. Cause I'm 6'2". Yo, I ain't no little guy. 200 pounds and homie, I can make a head fly. My father told me never hit nobody first. If they hit you, son, take them to a hearse. So throughout my life, that's the rule that I live by. Sucker put his hands on me, homie, I'll give a guy. Jab, 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 uppercut, jab. Get him a steak slab and put him in a cab.
This is so hip-hop. This is so dope.
But man, I really hate to hear stuff like Michael Jackson said. Sort of seem kind of silly, man. Lover, not a fighter, better stay out of Philly, then. So put up your duke, so you better start booking. Cause think I'm a punch when you unchin' and ain't looking. A MX uppercut, aim for your mouth. Not from the north or the east or the west. It's coming from the south. And I'm throwing it hard. From the south. Right up under your guard. From the south. An uppercut with all I got. Watch them drop. Put up your dukes. It's time to get loose, troop. One-on-one with me and you and me and your whole crew. Heard about the uppercut. Is that what's wrong, fellas? You're like chickens and Purdue's getting jealous. Fair one, banging, rumbling, or pugging. All different
He's
names,
bugging
but all
out.
the
This is
same
like-
bugging. Maybe you can take me out, yeah, maybe not. Prior to the uppercut, I flurry your body shot. So boom, chaka-laka, boom, chaka-laka, boom. Look out, coming at you like a Kodak zoom. Know my name ain't Roberto, don't be giving me flack. When you step off track, Jack, taking a dirt nap. Muscle bound sucker, we ain't jack to will. When I walk on by, better be glad I chill. Cause if y'all forfeit, I feel friction. Landlord giving you teeth in eviction. X's on your eyes, birds around your head flying. Lip all fat, look like I hit you with a bat. Eye so black, look like it must have got painted. Damn. That uppercut's a mother, ain't it? Step in the ring with the king, then you take a chance. 20 seconds later, you be out in the ambulance. Looking pathetic as you ask a paramedic what's up. Not like a truck, it was only an uppercut. Just last week, some fool got careless. So I got trifling and rifled a bare fist. After the punch, young man didn't want to fight. I missed his face, but I bust the stoplight. So put up the duke, so you better start booking. Cause ain't gonna punch when you lunching and ain't looking. MX uppercut, aim for your mouth. I'm from the north, the east, the west. It's coming from the south.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to Fresh Prince. He still got it. In one respect or another. But we out of here. TrueSchool.com. Check us out. TrueSchoolTV.com. All your hip hop video content that you want in the world available on that website, man. Shout out for everybody tuning in, tapping in with us. TrueSchool.com, TrueSchoolTV.com. Ren the Vinyl Archaeologist. Your man Unlearn the World.
Word.
We out here. Peace and love.
Peace.